name's young Nicholas BLOM, and I'm the vocalist guitarist for the Silencio. We currently have a new single coming out this Friday, tomorrow, the 28th, called Taciturn Over Talkative, which we're really excited about. It's the 9th installment from our sophomore album, Foreign Frequencies. So there's only one more left after this. We've been slowly drip feeding it, and we're slowly getting to the end result.
Beautiful, mate. It's been a long journey, but it's been worth waiting for.
Yeah, it was costly, and but yeah, definitely worth the wait.
Beautiful, mate. Thanks for joining us today.
No worries. Thanks for having us, mate. Always a pleasure.
Rosa, there's a fair bit happening with the Silencio at the moment, mate. So we'll start with your new single, Taciturn Over Talkative, which premiered via Heavy on Wednesday and is released officially this Friday. So she's a great rock track, mate, with a few trademark twists. So tell us a bit about it musically and what you're going for.
It's actually funny. It's one of the songs that I wrote towards the back end of the previous album cycle and nearly made it onto that record, but I just hadn't quite fleshed it out. Originally, the key line at the beginning of the main riff was actually played on the guitar, and I tried to jazz it up and just change it up a bit. And yeah, actually, the title came from a good friend of mine, Scott Mitchell. He wrote one of his close friends passed away due to suicide, unfortunately, and Scott wrote an article about that whole circumstance, and he used the phrase, to be less taciturn and more talkative, and it just really stuck with me, and I thought that that's such a great message to try and pass on, is to make sure that we don't hold things in and we do talk to each other. And yeah, I wrote it, turned it into song, essentially.
Beautiful. And the video is pretty special, the band as well, with your real life dads playing themselves in the film clip. So can you elaborate and go into a bit more detail for us?
Yeah, well, funnily enough, both my father and Dylan's father played in bands when they were our age, probably a little bit younger, actually. And, so they'd always had experience with it. And I guess, to try and immortalize the fact that that's where Dylan and I both got our start, we thought it would be a really cool idea to get our dads involved. Now, naturally, Kurt and Jared's dads had never touched those instruments before in their lives, but you're not going to do it with two dads and not the other two. So that made for a very fun afternoon. And then we got really lucky in the sense that we also needed to cast a child actor for the role, and my son, Jack, put his hand up. So he got to make a little cameo.
Oh, that's all pretty cool, isn't it?
So it's 3 generations in this one.
Jesus Christ. And you mentioned all this a little bit earlier, bro, but the song's taken from your forthcoming sophomore album. So this is a 9th song released out of 10. So firstly, what was the idea behind releasing them that way instead of releasing them as one solid unit?
We just wanted to try something different. We found, I'm still, of the old school mentality where I love an album. I love getting my hands on an album and taking a whole album in. But it does seem like now things are more geared towards singles, and it gives you a little bit more longevity in your release. So, we could record an album and put it out, and then 6 months later, people have thrashed it and they're moved on to the next thing. This gave us a chance to drag out the release and keep giving people something new to grab a hold of. Right. But there's some more exciting things around the corner once this album's complete, because it's not like we stop. Things have always been moving on our end.
So what's the plan? You've got one more to release, and then you're going to release all of them together as an album?
Yeah, well, so essentially it's tricky because you can't exactly do it that way through the streaming services once you release a single, unless you actually release it as part of an album and upload all the other songs at the same time. It doesn't quite work that way, but we're looking at releasing it in physical formats as an album. And yeah, a little something, I don't want to give too much away, but a little something that could potentially tie it all together for the streaming platforms. Maybe some additional content without giving too much away.
Right. Well, that'll all be wrapped up and done by the end of the year?
I'm hoping so, yeah. Everything's shot and ready to go. Like we actually shot the video for Taciturn Over Talkative and for the final single in March last year.
All right.
we
Yeah.
we sit on things for a little while until the time is
Let them
right.
ferment a little.
Yeah, we've always got big plans for how we want to release things, and until we're in a position where we can actualize that, we'd rather not rush it and waste a good opportunity. So yeah, we sat on these for a while, and obviously with the recent festival announcement, that was a really good opportunity for us to put something new out into the world.
Most definitely. Well, speaking of the festival announcement, the Taciturn Over Talkative is being released to coincide with your performance at this weekend's final show of the World is a Vampire tour on the Gold Coast. So it's not a coincidence, is it?
No, not a coincidence at all. It was funny. When we found out that we got the spot, the very first phone call I made was to our publicist Deborah Gann, and said, "Hey, normally I know you prefer a 6 week lead up for a release. How will 4 sit with you? Because I kind of want to put this out now." And she goes, "Let's do it." So yeah, she's a team player, that's for sure.
Yeah. And you earned your spot on the bill after winning the Rebel FM band battle recently at Vinny's Dive Bar. So, firstly, how nervous and then how excited were you waiting for the winners to be announced at the final?
Honestly, the caliber of bands that played throughout that entire competition were next level. I was really impressed with absolutely everyone that performed, and so I'd kind of accepted the possibility that there was a strong chance we weren't going to get through. Not doubting our own capabilities or anything like that, but like I said, it was a very high caliber of musicianship that was on that stage. So I thought that everyone deserved, an opportunity to have a win at that. When they announced us, it still didn't kind of feel real to me until, I think a couple of days later, like that's when, obviously, as you can imagine, your DMs start blowing up with people you haven't heard from for a very long time.
Asking for
And that's when it all started to, come together. But officially seeing the poster the other day with our name, clearly plastered on it, that was a truly good feeling. That's made it all very real. And I guess probably the one thing that I really want to harp on about it all is that it's run by like such professional, massive, companies like yourself and Rebel FM and One World Entertainment. And these are all, like big entities that are very professional. I just love how casual everyone's been. Like everyone's been so friendly and so inviting, and I don't know. It's just it's quite refreshing. It wasn't dealing with people in suits. You know what I mean? Like it was. I love that about it. Everyone's been really nice.
Yeah, well, let's hope it stays that way on Sunday.
Yeah, I'm sure it will. I'm sure it will.
The World is a Vampire is headlined by the Stone Temple Pilots and Jane's Addiction, of course. So, which of those two is your personal favorite? Which one are you looking more forward to seeing?
Who's my personal favorite?
Yeah.
Look, I mean, I would be lying if I didn't say the Smashing Pumpkins because I grew up listening to the Pumpkins. They were a massive influence for me growing up. But mate, honestly, I'm excited about everyone on the bill. I have seen Jane's Addiction before. I did manage to get to watch them side stage at a Soundwave once. I have kind of a funny Dave Navarro story from then. Um, and the honest, Red Hook is another band that I'm really excited to see. David Owen Blackley, who shoots our video clips, has worked on some of their video clips as well. So we have a mutual connection there. And I'm really looking forward to meeting those guys and girl and partying with those guys over the shared relationship.
You raised a good point there. Like, I think one of the best things about this festival has been the fact that they've had Amber on the Sniffers and Red Hook and Battlesnake do the whole tour with them, and like select local bands play at each of them. But most festivals come over and they got the one or two token Australian bands just to appease the natives, I guess. But it's good to see such a large contingent of Aussie bands and seeing them nail it, show in, show out.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I agree. Because there's a lot of it. There's a lot of talent in Australia that does tend to get passed over on some of these larger festivals that come through, which is obviously disheartening. But at the same time, budgets are budgets, and big bands are always trying to capitalize as much as possible. So, even bigger props to One World Entertainment for taking the risk by adding more Australian bands to the bill. But I mean, look, realistically, it's a solid bill, regardless of where the bands are from. Everyone brings their own thing to the stage, and I have no doubt that all the shows are going to be highly successful.
Damn straight. Now, this is a little cool thing we've been doing with all the bands that we interview for this. Like, there's a wrestling component on the day. Like Billy Corgan's brought his own wrestling crew over, and they're going against the Australian crew. So, hypothetically, if we organise an Aussie band death cage battle match, who from the Silencio would represent you guys?
I'm going to have to go with Kurt because he's probably the most fit out of all of us.
True.
I mean, I've just recently done my back, so I'm out of the equation.
Yeah, nice timing.
Whereas Kurt regularly goes to the gym, and he is a drummer, so he's always lugging drums. He'd be my guy.
Right, yeah. Well, the second phase to that, mate, is using names of your own song titles only. Give me the name of what your wrestling character will be, his signature move, and his finishing move.
Oh wow! Okay. I'm going to go with an old song title for the wrestling name. I'm going to go with "This Cannot Die."
Oh,
as the wrestler name. You want a signature move and a finishing move?
Yep.
The signature move would be "You're Not Alone" because it's a tag team thing, maybe.
Yep, that'll do.
Maybe.
That'll do, mate. I'll put you on the spot here, so you're doing well to come up with anything.
Yeah. And the finishing move would be "Under Lock and Key" because it's a secret. you have to wait and see the finishing move. There you go.
I like it. You've done very well there, brother. Very well. All right, mate.
I'm really out of the loop with the wrestling thing, so I hope I did it right there.
Ben struggled with that, so you're not the only one. Don't worry. But thanks very much for your time today, bro. The Silencio will be appearing this Sunday at Gold Coast.
Broadwater Parklands. Doors at 12. We're on at 12:30. Get there early. Film us.
That's the thing. Make sure you do get there early because I went to the Bribey Island show and the Sandstone Point show, and both of those ones had at least 100 people there start the day off. So let's see if the Gold Coast can better that and get in early and show some support for the local boys.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
No worries, bro. And the single Taciturn Over Talkative is out Friday, the 28th of April, and it's premiered through Heavy now. So if you want to get a sneak peek, go and check it out there. Otherwise, you boys will be playing it tomorrow or on Sunday, I'm sure.
Yeah, can't wait, mate. Can't wait. Oh, and also just a last minute plug before we go. We're also doing Moondole on June 3rd, which we're super pumped for as well.